you're telling me that FTX was just a big fuckfest? Caroline and SBF having sex on those goddamn beanbags? Picture that in your mind. That is disgusting! Imagine SBF in a fucking orgy, fucking those other nerds left and right, all day and all night while playing League of Legends while they're fucking! God damn! All day they're just on their computer, taking amphetamines, losing money, and fucking each other in the Bahamas! Oh my God, that's disgusting!
Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome in to NFT Live. It's good to see everybody in the house. Listen, you just missed an amazing GM Web3 morning alpha show. If you just missed those, I don't know what you're doing with your life between 11 p.m. Eastern Standard and 1 p.m. now. I love it. I can't get over it. We talked a lot about hunting wild elk. So not your typical NFT Live, but Gifted. What's up, my man?
Black buck antelope specific.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Just
you're right.
Keep it a buck.
True.
You know what I'm saying? No, I love that video. The sword, or is I want to say machete, but I think that's a legit sword that he's wielding there, and that's it's a fine touch to the whole thing. Just shirtless rage, sword wielding. Absolutely. And he's making good points, solid points. It's disgusting. And actually Beeple's image didn't even really do it justice. Because can we pull up the Beeple image real quick of the SBF fuckfest in the Bahamas? Because one of the things
I don't know if I could show that on YouTube too much.
I mean, one of the things that's the most offensive about it to me is that it's actually not accurate at all. I think when people see that image, they assume that that's exactly what was going down. It was just SBF basically, doing this. But the thing that's not accurate about it is that you'll notice there that actually he's in tremendously good shape. All of them are in really good shape. They look like they're hitting the gym every single day, eating nothing but celery and kale smoothies and just working on their physique so they can look good having sex. And let's be honest,
SBF.
They're all overweight and not good looking and you know what I mean? I don't know. I just think it's actually much uglier. I think the truth is actually much uglier than that.
Well, Caroline's not overweight. Let's not throw her under the bus here. Caroline's definitely not overweight. SBF, on the other hand, if you look at a picture of this guy when he was, even just 2 years ago, it's like another person. I have to look at this. Way too much League of Legends. There's a lot of updates on the SBF FTX stuff. I'm getting varying reports on BlockFi as well. As you know, I have funds stuck in BlockFi. Zach Prince, please give me my fucking money back. But I'm getting varied reports. I heard there was withdrawals last night. So some people were getting their funds if they put in prior to November 9th. I was a November 10th withdrawal.
There's a chance.
There is a chance, baby. But all right.
Here comes the cowboy.
Yeah, we'll get to that too. I want to thank you for bringing that up, by the way. I wore it just for you. All right. Leo, this is a different guy. Not even the same dude right here. SBF then, and I'm searching SBF young, so guess what I'm going to get? Probably something crazy. Here we go. And this guy. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a generous picture.
You gotta show the full, you gotta show the full body shot.
Yeah.
You gotta show a recent full body shot, and then imagine him having that same orgy that Beeple depicted.
I wish I was there.
That's enough to get my sword out of storage and go run around on the lawn with my shirt off, yelling crazy things. And the thing is, that guy making that video is the one that people will call crazy. But what's the crazy shit that's actually going on here, right? I think that's the real point.
So you're telling me that FTX was just a big fuckfest?
He's actually making money off those, by the way. Like, he's selling them on Foundation. I got to look up this guy's Twitter thread. I'll definitely get you guys the profile here in the chat. Shout out to Will Boswell, Easy in Crypto, showing up early and often. My fellow cowboy. We'll get to that just in a sec. Will Boswell says King Rich. Tell me how I say your name. SSW3. EOS Watchdogs, Mr. E. Money.
SWII is Switzerland. So
Switzerland.
You can also just call him the Great One. I think
I could also call him the Great.
Yeah,
it's like calling somebody daddy. I can't do that.
Switzerland the Great. Well, I think he goes by Daddy too. So you can choose.
No. Okay, Switzerland the Great. Hey guys. So Moneymakers 777 here, Lucky Man, is saying, hey, we're just thinking of all new nicknames for you guys. Hey guys, when will the Otherside Metaverse release date? And do you think it's a good time to invest in ApeCoin today? All right, the title of this episode is Yuga acquiring 10K TF. We didn't really touch on it yesterday. We were still kind of in the muck of, the SBF.
So you're telling me that FTX was just a big fuckfest?
That's what we were talking about yesterday. So today we're going to actually talk about good news.
Can we save that? Like, even just that.
So you're telling me that FTX was just a big fuckfest?
We need that clip so we can call that back anytime that we need.
Hey, listen, I'm going to drop his link. Hold on.
So you're telling me that FTX was just a big fuckfest? Caroline!
Caroline! Come on, Caroline! Listen, the guy's name is Gabriel Haynes. I'm going to get you guys the link here. This guy's awesome. He actually has a real... Oh my God, they superimposed SBF's face. I love this app, dude. You wouldn't pay $9 for this app? Come on, man. All right, so apparently he does this like almost every day. He also has a really good one with Pomp or about Pomp a long time ago. But I'll drop his link here in the chat. Guys, thank you for showing up early and often here on NFT Live. We're doing this every single day except Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. And we go for anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour and a half, usually tending towards an hour and a half. Time Inc. is in the house. I just dropped that link from my man Gabriel Hayne, and we will get started here on today's episode. We're going to cover Yuga 10K TF. Like I said, there was a CryptoPunks update. We're going to get to some SBF and FTX news, and then we're just going to hit some good news, man. If you guys have any good news that you want us to pull up on the screen, I feel like we've just been in the muck talking about SBF and Caroline for just what feels like ever. Like Art Gobblers feels like it was literally a month ago. It was probably 2 weeks ago. And yeah, we're going to hit that today. So
you know what? Quick callback / follow-up on the Art Gobblers. I haven't checked the floor, but like I believe you get to keep your ape. So I think there's some actual, we're focused on good news here today on NFT Live. We're going to focus on the good news. And good news, I'm guessing you probably get to keep your ape or apes now.
Guess what? Yeah, well, this is a great update here. This is a great update and a great segue for us. So I did make the switch this morning in the darkest hours when you need to have the most conviction. And actually what I saw was a really good ape sitting on the floor. I frequent X2Y2, which will lead to a certain amount of discussions here in just the next few moments as Gifted side-eyes me. I changed my ape today. I was rolling with the Mr. Gray with the fisherman's hat. I saw this bad boy up there on the floor for Bored Apes. I picked him up. I was then going to sell the yellow hatted ape that I have, the fisherman's hat ape, for around the same money if I could. And that actually, right before we press live, that sold on X2Y2 as well. So I'm just over here just scamming Gordon and Garga right now, just absolutely getting away with murder. But I was able to make that swap. So now I'm a new ape.
But did you? So it's more of a swap. So you didn't make money on the other ape necessarily, but you think you will because you swapped out for a more rare one.
Listen, I just had a cowboy hat that I've been wanting to wear for a long time on the show. Okay. So partly PFPs, and the reason they're important, GIF, is because they represent you in the metaverse. And by golly, does this not represent me more? I was trying to look for some other cowboy hats. Actually, there was a
cowboy hat. Yeah, I
Yeah.
meant to say. I mean, I feel like when you're wearing the hat, also your analysis is actually more on point. It's actually better. So
I have to wear this all the time.
isn't that I thought you were just connecting your identity.
It was just a one time. Okay, I could try. I could see how long we last here. But yeah, maybe I'll wear this. I'll throw it up in chat. I'll throw up the poll here in chat whether you want me to wear this cowboy hat every fucking show, or do you need to? The other thing that I want to get to and lead to a discussion here. I know that you're not a big fan of course, like royalties not being charged in that transaction. The other thing I do want to get to as well is when I did buy this ape on X2Y2, right? Because I'm not really familiar with the platform. I haven't used it that much. Usually on my first ape sell, for example, I'm using OpenSea, so I have been paying royalties. This one was flagged. X2Y2 makes the sells, but if you go to OpenSea, it cannot be sold on OpenSea, this ape. And I'm not, like, I tried to even do some research. So, I went to look out on Twitter.
Did you just pick up a stolen ape with royalties on it too?
Okay, well, the royalties and the stolen piece are two separate things.
It's a dark world out there. It's a dark world.
That's a conversation I want to have, though. That's a conversation. Like, what is your thought process on owning something that potentially was... And again, I looked this up on Twitter. I looked for any thread resulting in 8239 Bored Ape Yacht Club 8239. Didn't see anything. Like, no one was like, my ape is stolen or all this stuff. I didn't see anything like that. The last sell was 90 ETH. Couldn't see it.
I think I'd be concerned if it's already flagged on the biggest marketplace. Does that impact its ability to be valued? Like, does that impact the value? Like, this is actually a really interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Right? Because,
I thought it would be.
Because, like, what we're talking about is collectibles, right, in general. And when something is damaged, like, again, like, I hate using the Beanie Baby example because everybody is like, oh, NFTs are just like Beanie Babies. It's like, yeah, but they're a lot more because they're a technology that, unlocks a bunch of different utilities and you can resell them in like liquid digital markets and shit. So it's like, no, they're much more than just Beanie Babies. But as far as like an analog collectible example that most people are familiar with, that's why Beanie Babies has like become part of the conversation. Whatever. I hate the Beanie Baby example, but what most people know as an example of this well-known collection is like, they have the little tag. And if the tag is damaged or removed, then the value of said Beanie Baby goes down. It's not worth the same. You can't resell it for the same at a premium because it's damaged. And you can, talk about baseball cards. They grade the quality of a baseball card. I believe it's on a 1 to 10 scale, right? So the closer you are to a 10, the closer it is to full value or premium quality, and you're able to resell it for more. So that's what I would be concerned about, Q, is are sort of like marks that are now like basically flagging some kind of fraudulent behavior. Maybe it was stolen. Maybe something else happened.
Yeah.
Does that somehow impact the valuation and the quality of that digital collectible?
Yeah. Potentially. I mean, if you look at this ape, so I'm going to give you guys a look at kind of my activity this morning. Like there's 584. That was my ape that just sold. But if you go down the list, I was able to sell or buy this ape right here for 5499. So I ended up losing like 0.55, but this was a rarer ape. So maybe to your point, Gif, like it did have an effect on the price there, right?
So where's the marked on OpenSea?
And if you go to OpenSea, it's not tradable.
Okay, can you open it up so we can just look at that?
Where do you go to see open? I can pull up OpenSea. Give me just a sec. So rarity, like I jumped from 9,000th rarity, and the rarity tools are all over the place, with how they do this stuff. But, algorithmically or however they set up their algorithm to judge rarity, I jumped from 9,000 to like 600, as you can see here, like on some of the rarity tools. So to your point, I think maybe
600.
Yeah,
Woo!
maybe. Yeah. I saw it, dude. I was taking a fucking bath this morning. All right, I was sitting in the bathtub looking at my fucking mobile phone. I was like, "Yo, this ape is on the floor." I've been looking for a cowboy ape for a minute. Let me make sure I get this in OpenSea because I think it's important to look at as well. Like you're saying.
Yeah, this is interesting. Because that's a super fucking rare ape, bro. But like, does the smudge on its, reputation?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You're right. I mean, you're right to question whether it is. I don't know if you're right in the sense of like it affecting the value to somebody that really doesn't care. I don't see any activity here.
But does the market broadly care? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
About how it values these things, right? Because you're right. Like there might be some people out there that don't, but what are these sort of marks being marked or unable to list on major marketplaces? What does that then become, or how does that factor into the way that the space evolves? Can you get it unmarked?
That was my next piece. Was like I couldn't find anything on this ape. So was it like just randomly flagged?
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about a mark. It's like the actual asset isn't damaged, right? And so it's like in theory, you could just remove the mark, and then it's like,
all right, so I got it.
The mark. The mark is probably not on chain. It's probably metadata.
True.
So
I want to get to some comments that I want to pull it up for you, Gif. EOS Watchdog saying not your keys, not your ape. Will Boswell said, shit, man, the cowboy hat made Phil Mickelson's career and Garth Brooks. So it looks like I might have to wear it. Pokemon cards and trading cards are my favorite parallel to digital collectibles. And we're talking GPK here in chat, which we'll get to here in a second. All right, Gif, this is what I got. This is the OpenSea interface for the same ape. You can see here, this is the error. This item cannot be bought or sold due to suspicious activity. Now, again, I tried to do, this was all, I didn't know X2Y. Like, I'm not trying to save myself here by saying like, I didn't know, but I truly, X2Y2, I didn't know that, it wasn't able to be sold on OpenSea. So that was a big thing.
You didn't see that. So when you bought it, you didn't pay attention, and now you're.
Yeah, it said marked on It said marked on OpenSea. I don't know if I saw that prior to buying it or not. I really, I was kind of like trying to rush to my computer to make sure that I could purchase it before it was like swept up. But no, I didn't. And then I tried to look after I bought it. I was like, wait, I go to OpenSea. I can't sell this shit. Like, what happened? And there was really nothing to kind of like lay out there. The one question I had, which I answered quickly, but in the exact moment, right? Like in the 5-second moment of like, there were some comments coming through on like a Bored Ape sale bot where the people were flagged. I was like, oh shit, does that mean the NFT itself is secure or is it not? So that was answered pretty quickly. I think that was like an overreaction. I was like, oh shit, is there something wrong with the ape? Which was a dumb reaction, but I mean, I'd just spent all that money on it.
Yeah.
So
and as Modi's added context, it's almost always after it's been sold by a hacker, and that's what I've seen. Like that's my assumption is that it was hacked or stolen and reported somehow in a large hack or something, and so then those assets get marked by the people that were stolen. It was stolen from.
Yeah. Here's a question I'll ask you: is then over the course of years,
you are now trading in stolen apes.
Yeah, I've like a real cowboy, man. I'm out here on the Wild West, just slinging. Here's the question: at what point? And I want to open this up to the chat too. At what point would like that be removed? Is after it's been traded a couple times to a couple different people? Is it just always going to be like, hey, at one point in this collectibles, provenance, it was stolen and then sold? Because I don't even know if my sells to the hacker.
Well, and also an interesting question then too is like, what's interesting? In the fine art world, when a famous when a sculpture or a painting by a renowned artist stolen, it actually becomes more famous and more valuable.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I literally was actually just listening to a podcast about this, and there's a really fascinating story about a young art student in Central America who stole a Rodin sculpture from the museum. I don't want to misquote which country. It was like a Central or South American country, and he was just a young, like, 20-year-old art student, something like that, who happened to be in a museum when they were about to open up a Rodin exhibit, and ran into a room, walked into a room like before they closed, and thought, like, split second decision, hey, you know what would be crazy? What's going to happen to this statue as an experiment if I take it? And it became this massively controversial thing, but it proved his point because it became a super famous situation. The sculpture is now way more famous, and that's, you can see that throughout the history of, like, when things go missing or are stolen, or they have that extra allure and story behind them,
Yeah.
that they actually go way up in value sometimes in traditional art.
Yeah, I know we're getting super heady here to start this morning, but I think it's a cool conversation. I mean, it sucks for the person that got hacked. That truly does suck. I did not see anything on Twitter that is related to this ape of that
frankly,
situation.
I feel like it's kind of your fault now, Q.
It is. It is.
I feel like it's because of you.
I was like going through the thought process of, like, if this person reached out and wanted to buy it back for floor, like the same price I paid for it, I might do it. But, like, that person probably wouldn't do that. Like, they would want their ape back without having to pay anything. So it was like, I was thinking all these random thoughts this morning as it was happening. But long story short, new ape. We'll see how it goes. I was able to get out of the other ape around the same floor, so I made the transition, and now I'm a cowboy hat ape.
You're in the, like, 600 or 700 club there, bud. I mean, it might end up. I mean, it might hurt it, but also, like, there's a good chance that this ends up being a massive move, like having one of the rare apes when it does eventually go up. Eventually.
Right? You're saying there's a chance. You're saying there's a chance. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in through that Bored Ape dilemma thought experiment that we just had.
And not boring at all. It's actually fascinating.
It was very tingling to my brain. All right. This is what we're gonna cover today. We got a bunch of stuff, but we're gonna jump into it.
So you're telling me that FTX was just a big fuckfest?
Every time.
It's so good.
Every time. All right. So this is
so good.
This is kind of the update here. Biggest update in the past 24 hours, at least. New York Times, and I don't know if you've seen this GIF. This didn't come up in the Alpha Morning Show. I linked it up at the top.
I saw some of the fallout. Like, I saw some of the negative response to New York Times. Like, basically everybody's saying this is a puff piece.
It was a billion% a puff piece. Some of what they attributed the collapse to was Binance. Like, it was like almost a 50-50. They made it seem like it was Binance that, like, pushed the dominoes, and it was their fault.
Yeah, which, you know what? You know what upsets me about it is that I think our politics in general is pretty corrupt across the board. I mean, I won't get into my own political, like, leanings and, like, how fucked up, like, one party is over the other right now, but this does feel to me like it lends some credence or credibility to, like, the conspiracies around democratic political
the cabal, if you will.
The cabal of the deep state.
Look,
like something here is strange, right? Because we know New York Times is generally left leaning. And like what's really upsetting is that the New York Times is held up as, one of the standards of journalism. Still to this day, they do some of the most high quality reporting and is, looked to as, like, one of the best sources for news and truth. And so when you see something like this, it really makes you question everything and just be like, dude.
Yeah. Well, look, we were covering this story. Obviously, every network has been covering this story since its inception, and this like the first domino fell since right now, this literal second. There have been people that have hopped in chat. Marty McFly, I'm looking at you, that have basically gone directly to the conspiracy theory level of this, like ties into Bill Clinton,
right in there,
ties into, I forgot what island that, like Epstein Island.
Epstein, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think SBF, this whole FTX thing originated on,
dude. I'm close to being there.
On Epstein's fuck island. Are you saying it was all just a fuck fest in the Bahamas? Yeah.
So you're telling me that FTX was just a big fuck fest? Caroline?
Look,
dude,
maybe he literally, you know, cut his teeth, got the inspo for what he was doing. I don't know. Now we're
no. Okay,
so far off the rails. But like,
Asmodai, I want to get your take. He says he's been listening in on the NFT Tech Roundtable on Twitter with 15-hour streams over the last few days. Been some good appearances from both exchanges, politics, and people that are non-crypto, quote unquote. Love for you to like break that down for us if you have any thoughts.
Non-crypto people, like they exist. Okay,
yeah.
Talk about conspiracies.
We're talking bubble. We're in our own little world here in our bubble. But dude, the point I'm trying to make is like this New York Times article affirms those conspiracy theories more than it detracts from them. The fact that the New York Times, in the midst of one of the greatest collapses in our industry's history, is writing a piece that is essentially, and I linked it there in chat, is essentially a big old puff piece that says, "Oh, it was an accident. I should have been looking more at the risk that was happening on the network." It was so ridiculous. They should have been hounding this guy, and they were throwing him ridiculous curveballs. I also want to read the end of the article where he actually talks about what he's doing with Twitter. If you've seen those threads where he's like just posting a single letter, it's just all over the place, dude. This guy could be dead in a year, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I actually was already thinking similar things. And I just have honestly one question for New York Times. Like, hasn't SBF been blown enough? If there's one takeaway that we can get from the fuck fest that was happening and all the other, like, everybody, you know, putting him up on this pedestal as he's some altruistic, you know, number go up god of crypto, hasn't he been blown enough, New York Times?
By Caroline.
Shame on you. Caroline! Shame on you, New York Times. You should do better.
There's a couple quotes that we could probably get to that, like, if you only had to read those quotes, they would give you insight into this article. So this guy is basically on the run. I mean, nobody really knows if he's detained. I got reports that he's detained. I got reports that we're following him to Argentina. I got a whole... We don't know. Like, there are no confirmed reports. In the midst of this is what the New York Times is putting out. He has also found other... In the midst of this, he's on... Like, I thought he was on the run. And this article comes out... They interviewed him on Sunday. He has also found other ways to occupy his time in recent days, playing the video game Storybook Brawl through less than he usually does. He says, "It helps me unwind a bit. It clears my mind." Shortly before the interview, Mr. Bankman-Fried had posted a cryptic tweet, the word "what." Then he had tweeted the letter H. Asked to explain, Mr. Bankman-Fried said he planned to post the letter A and then the letter P. "It's going to be more than one word," he said. "I'm making it up as I go." So is he planning a series of cryptic tweets? Something like that. But why? I don't know. I'm improvising. I think it's time. Bruh. This is Lehman level destruction of an industry, of people's funds, and they're talking about him playing a video game, though less than he usually does. And
then also making the actual real life games that he's playing with people's lives seem like some brilliant improv. like the climax to his great fucking symphony is this cryptic fucking tweet that he's just working on. It's gonna be multiple words, guys. When it's all said and done, yo, fuck. Like, just fuck,
It's
bro.
wild.
Like, I didn't know it was that bad. Like,
Dude, you got to listen to this. You got to listen to this part about CZ. Just again, these two, I will do. Okay. As he embarked, well, no, how much and in
bro,
Washington, yo, listen to this tweet.
this is not real. This can't be fucking real.
That's why the conspiracy theorists, I'm leaning more in that way now. There's no way that they wrote this article.
No.
And in Washington, he was pushing an ambitious regulatory agenda while speaking critically about Changpeng Zhao, the chief executive of the rival exchange Binance, who eventually mobilized his extensive Twitter following to set off the run on FTX. That is how people are having this framed to them.
Cue the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme song, right? The closing credits here, because like this is a farce.
Yeah, I'm getting mad even talking about it.
Seriously,
I'm getting mad even talking about it.
I don't know how to have like an intelligent conversation when this trash is being passed as like journalism, as some kind of journalistic standard for what good journalism is.
Yeah.
This is what gets, you know, we fucking railed on like DAP Radar and one of these like little analytics ups, you know, startups, because they were basically, you know, blowing Azuki like crazy and not providing any fucking real context around why their volume was so fucking high and all that type of shit. This is 10 times fucking worse. This is 1,000, 100,000 times fucking worse than that. This is like it's so severely damaging when you try and whitewash this type of,
that's how they framed it.
This type of fuckery.
The run on FTX. That's how they framed it.
The run on FTX.
What by CZ? That's someone that is uninhibited doesn't know.
It almost makes it sound like they the next step is a bailout. Like
that's what I'm.
They should probably get a bailout, right? I mean, they were just a victim of the big bad Chinese crypto people.
Shows where their interest is at New York Times. Someone will probably take him out, government or rent. Easy's going the government route. Paxmark is saying,
I think it's Brady. I think Brady hires someone to take him out, like straight up.
As what I was saying, BlockFi filing for chapter 11. There is that I've been following again. Like I'm gonna stop saying this, but like for those of you that are out there, I have funds in BlockFi. I know Marty McFly has funds in BlockFi. A lot of us had funds in BlockFi. You know, we thought it was a legitimate project, or I wouldn't say project, company that was lending out our funds. Actually, they were very tied into this FTX situation. So there were reports last night, and I was like feverishly checking my BlockFi because people were actually getting withdrawals out. That might have been people that filed for withdrawal maybe before the 9th, but now, and it looks like it is kind of reported on by multiple people. Crypto lender BlockFi preparing for potential bankruptcy following the FTX collapse. Important thing there, I guess, is like there's a difference between Chapter 11 and Chapter 7. Chapter 11, they're going to try to like recoup people's funds and try to, you know, figure out a way to move forward. Yeah, restructure is probably the right legalese there. But yeah, I mean, that's no good. Like the best case scenario would have been is that they didn't have that much tied up in FTX, which there were, you know, other reports from them saying it wasn't everything and all this stuff. The best thing that could have happened was like maybe a CZ or maybe, you know, someone with a fuck ton of money is coming in and kind of saving them and in that sense. But yeah, it looks like they're going to go the Chapter 11 route. It won't be a while.
Yeah, but nobody's dumb enough to accept for the U.S. government, maybe.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, you could eat up. Yeah. The books probably look like shit. Just the same thing that CZ did with FTX. Is like if you looked behind the scenes at BlockFi, if you were looking to maybe acquire a distressed business, and then you looked at their books, it probably looked like absolute dog shit. So, yeah. So that's the report right now. BlockFi filing for Chapter 11. I'm guessing that people will receive their funds years from now and be it penny on the dollar, probably. You know, pennies on the dollar is probably don't take that literally. You'll probably get a fourth back, maybe half. Who knows? But there were some legitimate reports that people were getting their withdrawals, which like I was like, oh my God, thank you. Like I will never trust centralized platforms again. Let me do it. And now they're coming out and saying that they're filing for bankruptcy. So that's unfortunate. We will continue on. Marty's in the chat actually saying this whole thing is much bigger than crypto and scary as fuck if you are able to see it all. This is what we're talking about, or just finished talking about, is the levels to which this gets to in the government, the levels of which this gets to in a lot of things here. But
it might even go all the way to Epstein's pedo island. I don't know. Stay tuned.
There probably is some fucking tie-in that somebody could find to Pedo Island.
People want to know, Q. Money Maker 77 wants to know.
He's in here.
777. What is the Otherside Metaverse release date, Q? We need an answer. We need these answers, Q.
So you're telling me that FTX was just a big fuckfest? Caroline and
I don't know. I got my hand on the trigger. That's what. Okay. Nobody fucking knows when the metaverse is coming out. Nobody knows when the other side is coming out. They haven't released any information. Yuga always plays it close to the chest. Is it a good time to invest in a thing like ApeCoin? You're really, really counting on the market. This is not financial advice, but if you're sitting in fiat.
Way down from its all-time high.
It is.
This is way down.
So is everything.
Doesn't mean it can't go lower, but like.
All right, let's see what ApeCoin's at. I took the fucking bait here. Okay, I'll throw up the goddamn chart.
Sitting around $2. That's what I'm guessing.
$3.
Oh, okay. I thought.
Yeah, down massively over the last. Massively. I'm looking at the hour chart. Fuck off. All right. So $3. Again, if you're sitting in stables, your question is not about ApeCoin. Your question is about crypto in general. If you think that crypto is going to do well, then ApeCoin at $3 seems like an okay bet. Like they're going to come out of this. They have. I mean, the artifact discussion that we're about to have. They added Beeple into their ecosystem through this because Beeple was heavily involved into 10KTF, obviously. Like I don't know his like official involvement. Is he a founder? Is he?
I don't know. We can look at that. But is there any other updates on the staking too? Because they paused staking because of the SEC, right? And that's the other thing that I'm like, when staking? When update? Because that's the main reason why I've been holding on my Ape, other than any big news announcements about the other side coming. But like.
Yeah. So the problem with the Ape
I got a bag of Ape, and I've just been watching it go down, down, down.
So like EOS Watchdog is saying Beeple is a one-hit wonder. The reason I push back against that is because things that are going to do well in this market, the size that it is right now, are ones that are connected networks. We see the same thing with Kevin Rose. The reason Kevin Rose is super successful and only going to be more is because all of these people that have their networks really, really put together are going to do extremely well because you can form partnerships. You're having conversations with the biggest people in this space. It's not a large space. So Beeple is, I think I would push back against that, man. Like there's a reason why 10K
Beeple's
TF.
a one-hit wonder?
Yeah, 10K TF being successful has a lot to do with the network behind the scenes there. Like it just is.
I love and appreciate EOS Watchdogs. They're always here providing a lot of great commentary and input. But you kind of lost me on that one, but I don't think Beeple is a one-hit wonder. Go look at what he does every single day in terms of his engagement.
Yeah.
Like the guy is one of the most influential artists in the world right now. So like...
All right, so a couple things on the ApeCoin staking piece. It looks like, and again, we have to like do a little bit more research here as it comes to the ApeCoin staking, but there are like multiple reports of ApeCoin staking being like at the end of November. I can do a couple.
What's this coming from? Is this on their Yuga news.yuga? Like
it's probably most of this is going to come from I'm using the term insider information. It's not insider, but like those that are in ApeCoin DAO will know about this stuff because that's where they're making the decisions. That's where they're making the proposals. That's where they're doing all that stuff. So likely it's coming from ApeCoin DAO. I can pull that up as well here. But I will as well pull back on. I know Watchdogs again. I appreciate you bringing in the commentary. Staking Ape is FTX risk level. That's not necessarily true because again, it's mainly DeFi. So if the contracts are audited, like there is going to be risk. I put this tweet out yesterday. If money is leaving your hardware wallet, there's going to be risk associated, but you can determine that risk level and there's differences, right? This is DeFi level staking. You're trusting the smart contract. You're not trusting the SBF with your funds. You're trusting the smart contract. If the smart contract's faulty, then yes, but I wouldn't classify it as FTX risk level.
Well, also like FTT was its own chain, or is it a layer 2? Like what I know is that ApeCoin is Ethereum. Like it's built on Ethereum. So like already that makes me feel better about it than a lot of other shit coins. Like that doesn't mean that ApeCoin's ecosystem can't go to shit, but it's not like it's some, totally random chain or some, made up layer 1 that nobody, that is totally reliant upon one business. It's built into the Ethereum ecosystem. So
yeah, there's a lot of reasons to be bullish on Yuga, even though Marty's trying to fade him. Horizon Labs is one you want to follow. This is a profile for the company that is essentially setting up staking, right?
Let's be honest. It wouldn't be a good show of NFT Live without Marty coming in to basically totally rebuke every single thing that we care about. So thank you, Marty McFly, for being predictable and basically saying exactly what we don't want to hear. We appreciate how predictable you are, being the contrarian out there, and we love it. Horizon, they're the people that did the ApeCoin launch, right? And I think they're the same people that are working
on the staking contract on the interface,
but also with Guttercat Gang.
Well, Gang Token got officially postponed without any date. I think I'm almost positive Gang Token is shelved until the market recovers. Yeah, I would have liked to see a Gang Token. Of course, being a Guttercat holder. Marty McFly is saying, I agree with the EOS Watchdogs, and that sale was dodgy. The Metacoven dude that bought for millions had his ETH since ICO, so it only cost him a few $1,000s, not millions. It still cost him millions. I know we like to do the ETH one for one debate here, one ETH is one ETH, but it's still $1 million or millions of dollars at the point that it is a sale. I get that he bought it at cents, but we listen, we all know that this space is propped up by severe gambling addictions. That is the situation in NFTs. It's in crypto. If you don't know the fucking space's history with Tether, a lot of the reason we're here today is because Tether was printed from nothing and bought ETH. It bought a bunch of fucking Bitcoin. Tether really kind of pumped up this space. It's all about degenerate gambling here. So there's always going to be some nefarious things going on when it comes to behind the scenes, in my opinion.
Neither confirming nor denying anything said.
I'm still
I'm actually I'm over here just reading the comments and enjoying this conversation. Keep it coming. Also, I think there's a little scissor button somewhere down here. I think there's a scissors. Go ahead, clip it. See what happens. Scissor us. Post it into the new Web3 Reddit. Y'all.
Scissor us, Caroline.
We set up a Reddit, and we want it to be an absolute fuckfest over there on the Web3 Reddit. So
fuckfest, huh? A fuckfest, huh? All right.
Whatever you want it to be, help us get our Reddit going, and it's reddit.com/r/w3b3. Maybe we can post that link in the comments here. But
hit me with a private chat.
We haven't talked too much about the scissor. I think it's down here somewhere. It's probably a little scissor icon
right next to the like button, I think. If you want to stop by.
somebody scissor us, because some of this action that doesn't feel too bad on a Tuesday.
All right. Here's what we're doing. We're getting into some quick news, and I got this fancy quick news segment piece here. You see that GIF?
Whoa!
Listen, if you seriously, crazy stuff is happening here. What if that was the end of the episode? Like, what if we just fucking left there? We
Yo.
actually be on time for the first time ever.
Blown away by these graphics packages that Q is making here, y'all.
I'm trying.
Yo, Q doesn't get enough credit. Let's be real. More credit for all of the amazing things that he does to make this show happen, to make this community keep growing. Quick news, super there. That's beautiful work.
All right, we're moving into quick news. This is the theme right now for quick news. GIF, drop that Reddit Web3 for me as well so I can pull that up on the screen. Theme for quick news. Drop it in the chat. We'll pull it up on the fucking screen. We've got like 4 or 5 different stories that we want to cover that is just quick news. Okay? Quick. Nothing heady, nothing deep, no cabal with Jeffrey Epstein.
We swear, Jacob.
And yo, we're going to start
news.
We're going to start here with the Reddit Web3. Here we go. Okay, I got it. Man, this is looking sparse. I don't know why I threw this up on the screen. Yo, this is our Reddit?
We just got it. Yo, I posted a meme. It's live. We started it. Go post. Yo, post some more memes.
Wow.
Go get the memes.
Wow. All right, we'll show you guys that next week when it's actually ready for
help us get
to be
it.
shown.
Yo, help us get our Reddit popping, y'all. Oh wait, real quick news. Reddit World Cup avatars. You can mint them for free right now. Go into your Reddit, go into your profile, check your avatar. You can mint your own team World Cup Reddit avatars for free. That's some alpha. That's some quick news. Our vibe, our tribe. Shout out Kick Nygaard for coming through with that one today. Marty McFly is over here talking down on Reddit, but look, they're already providing utility.
Visit the Reddit mobile app, select the avatar icon in the upper right-hand corner, click on the enlarged version of your avatar to the page. You'll see different sections of avatars as usual, but the top section will probably feature Reddit Cup 2022. You will choose the team you want, and that's pretty much it. Your avatar NFT will be minted. GIF, if you can send me, are you like following this janky-ass Web3 here? Can I see who's following and like pull your avatar up?
You can, I think if you click on that post. Look, I already got 4 upvotes on that meme. Click on that. Yeah, there you go. Look at that.
Oh,
look at my dragon. I got the whales.
Why'd you go for whales?
Because it's got a dragon on its head.
We're literally playing whales. We're competing against whales.
Yeah, but dude, the American one is fugly. Like, first of all, Reddit, put some respect on America. Like, yo, look how dope this fucking whales one is with the dragon. Dude, the US one is fugly, bro. Come on.
I would love to like actually see these. We could do a rate my Reddit avatar piece for the World Cup. That's actually fucking amazing. We're doing that.
Let's do it.
We're doing that tomorrow. All right. Next quick piece of news. Speaking of Cowboys, Professional Rodeo Cowboy Association launches NFTs. I have not done any due diligence on this story whatsoever, so I have no idea what they're doing, but I just added it into the quick news segment because I'm wearing a cowboy hat. So what are Professional Rodeo Cowboy NFTs? One-of-a-kind Right Family VIP NFTs. Tickets, behind-the-scenes access. So they're event tickets. So event tickets at rodeos, hootie ha. They're
collectible tickets. Cool.
Yeah, cool. All right, quick news.
I mean, look, okay, here's, you know what? Wait, can you go back to that real quick? Does it say anything? All right, it's gone. Can you search Houston? Like, just search Houston and see if
Houston Rodeo's sick.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The one thing that I would actually be like the Houston Rodeo, I think is the biggest rodeo in the world. I've been several years. I grew up in Houston, so I've been. It's great. It's a good time, and it's also like a big cultural thing. Like for the South, for all of Texas, Houston Rodeo is a big deal. And so if you had like a one big valuable collectible that was done for each year or the days of each Houston Rodeo, that might actually be pretty legit as a ticket. Like, I don't know. That could be cool.
They say it's the 2022 Wrangle National Finals, but I'm pretty sure they meant Wrangler. So the 2022 Wrangler National Finals Rodeo is the rodeo that's associated with this. Someone brought up Nike Swoosh. We covered this yesterday, just a tad before we were absolutely flamed by Kane Mayfield for talking about anything other than grassroots NFT projects with 5 followers. So we're going to talk about .swoosh. Nike announces its biggest Web3 project yet. Nike's continuing to extend its reach into the metaverse by introducing a new platform called .swoosh. So breaking down what this is, we'll kind of jump in to, I'm sure, not NFT evening to talk about this, but do they have an interface that we can kind of like, or a website that we can kind of look at?
I don't know. Have you tried typing .swoosh into your browser?
.swoosh. Welcome to swoosh.com. Is it like, so here's my question. Is it a marketplace for shoes? Is it like a VR interface for buying and selling?
It's a marketplace for Nike branded digital collectibles. That's what it is. Okay. So it is their own NFT marketplace for Nike. And of course they're calling them digital collectibles. This to me is like, look, they got a solid taste. They got a tasty taste doing some big artifact drops, the Clone X and all that shit. And they were like, yo, this Web3 shit is actually popping off for us. We're doing great. We want to keep going. And so they're expanding to their master brand, Nike. It's bullish. It's bullish. I don't know the quality or how interesting, but there's going to be a bunch of hype beasts and those types of collectors. The same type of people that are sneakerheads and collect fucking Supreme are probably going to be into this shit.
I'm just looking for anything that's not like corporate speak here about the metaverse. Obviously, we've seen everything that they've thrown at us already. So I'm just kind of looking at maybe different features that are interesting.
They've got more than 5 followers and 5 people in their Discord. So what do you expect, Q?
Well, I really can't talk about projects like that. So I don't know. Pull up to Nike events. So there's going to be virtual events. Yeah.
Pull up to our metaverse.
Pull on up. Join us 11/18. So I guess 11/18 we're going to be eagerly awaiting the Nike Swoosh release. We'll see what creators they decide they want to come with there. All right.
I'm gonna stay up all fucking night, just camped out in the metaverse for that shit, bro.
All right, we said we were going to cover Wax more here on the network. It looks like Magic the Gathering creator launches Web3 PvP game on Wax. Listen, I'm a huge fan of Magic the Gathering. I was kind of a little bit of a nerd in some aspects growing up. I played sports, obviously, but I like to delve into Magic the Gathering a little bit.
We all know, Q. We know you're a nerd. You don't. It's redundant for you to point it out.
Blockchain Brawl, I'm going to completely not say anything about that. Blockchain Brawlers is a new Web3 fighting card game built on the Wax blockchain. Tirano Studios, formerly known as Wax Studios. Okay. The game launched in March 2022 and received a lot of success. In their second week of launching, they saw a total of 430 million in volume traded. So this was already released as a game. Why is it coming out now? Like, why is this? What is this piece about? The next phase of his Web3 PvP card game. Oh, PvP mode. Cool. Hey, I'm all about it. I love some PvP card mode games. I was a big Gods Unchained fan when it first released. PvP is a mode that I need. It's not like a want for me. It's like if I'm playing a game, I'm not beating somebody up. I am not.
Gods Unchained is the closest thing to Web3 blockchain game that I've been like, oh, it's actually kind of fun. It's actually kind of sticky. Like it's pretty good. It's got good art, so the assets are pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But like, do they have a robust marketplace, or is there any real value? Like, did you ever trade any Gods Unchained assets or make a flip or anything like that?
Okay, so there are some issues with the card genre when it comes to having economics tied into it in an open marketplace, okay? So, you already have this issue with a massive game. I'll use Hearthstone, for example. The biggest probably PvP blockchain, not blockchain, just like regular trading card game in existence. You have a pay-to-win model in those card games. You don't really have that in like a battle royale like a COD. Like you're never going to be able to go into a game and be like overly loaded, like kitted out to beat somebody else, like have twice as much health or have a really better gun. You have to find them and it's at random, right? The card games work exactly different. You pay Hearthstone for packs. The packs have dope shit in them that you can then craft into better cards. So the people that spend money in that game actually are better at the game. So it's like a fundamentally flawed thing for PvP, in my opinion. If you open that up into an open marketplace GIF, now it just exacerbates the issue, right? Like the only people that are winning this game are the people with money. It's either the same or worse in that scenario, because now it's a completely open marketplace. I guess you could say it's a little bit better because people are making money from it. You know, if they like grind for a very long time, maybe you could, you know, attempt to kind of compete with the people that put 10 G's into the game, 20 G's into the game. But you have to grind for a long, long time to actually compete with somebody who will just put money into the game. That was a roundabout way to answer that, but my initial thing.
Not quick news. That was not quick news.
Well, you asked the question. We're outside of quick news. Here's how I would TLDR it, man. If you want to put money into these Gods Unchained, you'll do super well. You probably would get like the cascading effects of having money up front make better sense than starting and not saying I'm not going to put any money into this game. You're not going to have a fun experience. Because what it is you're PvP with people that have put money into the game and you're getting your ass kicked.
Yeah, so, that's why I started to stop. Playing. I kind of stopped because I started hitting a wall pretty quick, just using the assets that I was earning without putting a bunch of money into it. So
my experience as well.
So it is pay to play as well, really.
Yes,
but I'm more interested in the economics is what I'm trying to get to. And so you're saying that if you do invest up front, then you get quality assets that can actually make some kind of money, but it's all still very much gambling at that point too. Like just because you put 10K into a game doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get 10K out.
True. Yes. Again, the fundamental difference being it's not just aesthetics when it comes to card games. It's not like I'm changing my characters the way that I look and maybe I could potentially sell it because it's like unique. It's one of 10 like cupcake heads that I can wear during a fortnight. You know what I mean? Like that might have resale value. The difference with the card games is like you're physically buying something that is making you better in the game. Here's another thing I'll throw out, GIF. The supply in these games is going to make it tough for people to make money too, because the game wants to continue putting different cards out. So exactly. So I would talk to somebody that there were probably people that made a fuck ton of money playing Gods Unchained. I will go like die on a hill for that. If you know what you're doing and you were early into Gods Unchained, you made a shit ton of money. If you're the laggard in that environment, you're just kind of like dicking around with like cards worth cents. You know what I mean?
It's a really tough situation in terms of keeping balanced games too, because like to your point, like yes, aesthetics do matter, but the other thing with a game is the actual power of whatever that thing is. And so like you need to keep some kind of scarcity while also continuing to put them out. So then it's like, okay, each drop needs to be a limited edition, or there's only 100 or only 500 of each item. But then what are the qualities of those items, the powers that they have? And then like if I don't know. Then you start to be like, oh well, this one is the most powerful item, and then you watch another one. It's like, well, now this is the most powerful item.
Yep.
And people are just paying to get that item, and then destroying the balance of the whole game. It's like it's really complicated to do these things and do it well, which is why
talk to somebody from
doing the purely aesthetic things is easier, right? It's like the skins. You're just like it doesn't actually change the balance of the game at all. And the card games, to your point, are different than that.
Exactly. And that's what I would point to as like the first thing that we need to solve is not these complicated economic models with games that are pay to win. It's just people who spend millions and millions of dollars, not singular people, but in aggregate, people are spending millions on just aesthetics that have nothing to do with whether you can win the game or not. So that's where we should start as a community, as an ecosystem, is just how we make a dope game that just aesthetics that can be bought and resold. So there are a lot of comments here in chat. Paxmark is saying on each expansion you can buy a bunch of packs and then resell good cards. That's fair. That's probably your best way to make money as a new player. Is like when a new expansion comes out, you have a random chance to potentially get like a gold Charizard, for example. You know what I mean? So that's probably the best example of like how someone that's new could make money. Again, that favors somebody who has $10,000, not just $5 to spend on a pack. So good comments. Listen, guys, I don't have Ronan the Collector here on the network until Wednesdays. That's it. That's his scheduled day and time to be on NFT Live. I know I'm gonna have to keep repeating this, but like people that think we don't know what's going on with Wax or have been covering Wax, understand that we were the first streamers to cover Wax blockchain. I just have to I hate getting like comments about Wax and you being like, you guys like don't have any idea about what's going on. It's like we were the first motherfuckers to cover it. We were here during the GPK drop. We were here during I made a shit ton of money on Alien Worlds. Like I just want to make that certain. I know we don't cover Wax that much, but have a little bit of decorum when it comes to hating on us for not being covering Wax every 5 seconds.
Yo, Q just laying down the law.
Sorry, we were there. Like Easy was there. We have a bunch of community members that were there. We were all there. You know, like we
How dare you question our reputation? How
kind
dare
of.
you?
It would be like GIF. It would be like me saying, what do you know about the PFP movement?
Nothing. Clearly.
Like you were there when the first PFPs were coming out. Like it's just
PFP?
weird. Yeah. Anyways, I'll hop off the soapbox.
We went into gaming there a little bit. It's a hard thing. You know, one thing that we definitely again hit on this morning at GM Web3 is it's hard to talk about NFT gaming or Web3 gaming right now because it's just not lit. It's not there yet. And so I thought this was another fun headline. There's the Game Awards, the GAM3 Awards, Game Awards set to become the Grammys for gaming. But it's like, does anybody care yet? I mean, it's smart maybe to be creating this and you know, they're planting a flag, but like, how long do we expect this to last? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there's not even enough good games that have enough users that play them that care about them winning awards, I don't think. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Yo, in the comments.
You're not.
Negative feedback only. I want to know how fucking stupid this shit that's coming out of my mouth is. Let me know if I'm wrong. But like I don't think there's enough good games with big user bases to be launching a big award show.
I just want to post this picture up on the screen for everybody. Until this picture changes, we're not going to get much better. I mean, there's the Axie Infinity's on this list. I know it's tough to see, but like there is nothing on that list. That apparently that's the top 5 quote unquote GameFi games. It's just shit. It's shit right now. Gala Games being one of them. We cover some of this stuff, right? Like you've touched on Immutable X. They're doing some good things. We just hit Gods Unchained. I would love to have them on the network. Gala Games is doing some amazing stuff. I would probably say like they're up top. Mythical Games is another one who's building Blankos. That's another one. So there are good ones out there, but as far as most used, there's just nothing. Again, like I said, let's talk in a year. Let's talk in a year.
Maybe in a year. Again, I'm speculating it might take even longer.
Yeah, Asmod, I was thinking the same thing. A lot of game alpha testing now, another year or two. When is the Reddit moment though? That's the piece. Like I feel like the Reddit moment and then Starbucks and then what was the other one? Like were those the main two that we were covering? But like when is that moment where a large platform, right, adopts it? I don't think you'll see it in gaming because they're making too much fucking money. You know? Like maybe they need to do it like a test. Like Fortnite needs to have like we're not fully switching to an NFT ecosystem. We're doing like one thing.
No, most of the big publishers have been already testing crypto in different ways for the last year or two. So it's like they know it's coming and they know that there's a big potential and a big future. But like to your point, they have existing business models that they need to keep up and maintain that are making them a lot of money. They can't just like flip a switch, So a lot of the innovation has to come from the ground up right now. But the big guys are trying to innovate too. They're just slower to move. Like, dude, the gaming industry took a long time to fully adopt even like digital downloads because they were making hand over fist selling $60 fucking CDs and CD-ROMs in Best Buy. Like they were making so much fucking money doing that shit. So they didn't want to move to the cheap DLCs because they were like, how does this benefit our bottom line? And in the short term, it didn't. But now, it all makes sense because everybody's there and the quality's there. But yeah, they were slow. They were slow to fully adopt digital because again, the old people, the old men and women, but mostly old men at these gaming companies at the top, they're sitting there like, who wants to download shit when you can go to Best Buy and fucking spend $65 on a compact disc, and they've got so much invested in that status quo, that model.
That's fair. I mean, look, games like Rocket League, games like League of Legends, they're making so much fucking money that it doesn't make sense for them. Until somebody comes along and does it, and there's a clear path. They're not going to like disrupt their money flow until it's very, very clear path. Go ahead.
Both Fortnite and Rocket League are two live services that would absolutely kill it, and they're both owned by Epic Games. So like whenever Epic figures it out, that's going to be big business.
Love it. Yeah. Well, I would love to get to the day where we can play a game like a Rocket League and have NFTs associated with that. I think that's probably the understatement of the century. Paxmark is saying, I have a lot of faith in Illuvium. That's definitely one to check out. Easy and Crypto is bringing up Wagmi United. So I'll touch on Wagmi United, but I definitely wanted, before we left here today, Gift, to hit on 10KTF and that acquisition by Yuga, as well as the CryptoPunks announcement that like followed literally a day afterwards. So I definitely want to touch on that. EOS Watchdog saying, by the way, guys, I'm part of the top 21 block producers on EOS called Jenner EOS. Shout out to the EOS ecosystem, man. That's a tough one for me. We were very, very heavily invested in EOS. I was a Genesis ICO. What's the word I'm thinking? Investor, I guess you would say. So back in 2017, one of the biggest ICOs bought by EOS at 10 cents, something like that. Ran all the way up to $21. It's had a lot of issues since, a lot of issues with the founders there. Dan Larimer leaving, and then I forgot his fucking name. Creating an exchange. What's up with Bullish? EOS Watchdogs, what's up with Bullish Exchange? I would love to hear what's up with those guys. Wagmi United, sucks to see. 0.08 floor price. I think the mint price was 0.3.
Wasn't it?
It was like 0.25, 0.3 maybe. Okay. The one update I will give with Wagmi United, I'm still waiting on the merch. I bought the NFT so I could wear the fucking Chromie squiggle live on stream. The one thing I will say is we're not hopefully going to get relegated. So Wagmi United, obviously the group bought Crawleytown FC. You get promoted and relegated in the English football system, if you will. Which I wish they would adopt for like NFL and our sports, but that's another thing. We were like relegation status for literally the first quarter of the season. Fired the coach. Now we have a new coach, and we've won a bunch since the new coach has taken over. We're sitting at like, if there's 20 people in League 2, I think we're sitting at like 12, maybe 13. So we're out of that relegation zone, maybe a little bit deeper than that. I would say maybe 15. But we're out of that relegation zone. Hopefully we can, do well here for the remainder, stay in League 2, and then work for promotion next year, which would be dope. So That's
Nice.
the update on Wagmi. I'm still fucking holding.
Floor price was 0.3, or the mint price was 0.35. That's what I thought. I thought it was over 0.3. That's such
that was fucked up. That was fucked. Now looking back, that was fucked. I think you were saying something at the time, weren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's obviously fucked up. It was at like when the bear market was hitting. It was in the middle of the bear market with like a super high supply, like 13,000 or something like that, and a mint price of 0.35. Yo, you've got a board of like 40 heavy hitters with Gary V on it, and you can't even sell that out because it's not fucking cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they fucked up a lot of things with that launch. The mint price, the fact that it wasn't a PFP. I think the PFP would have done a little bit better than like the
and the
holder.
art was fucking garbo.
Yeah.
Dude,
you were buying it for the narrative. Yeah.
For fucking 0.35 and you can't give me a 1 of 1?
Mm-hmm.
Out of 13, you want a fucking edition of 13,000 for 0.35 and you think that's going to provide value back to the collector? Give me a fucking break, dude. Who signed off on this strategy?
They were in like some type of boardroom situation there. Like they were in some bubble boardroom situation where they were like, yeah, we should do 0.35. Let's do 0.35. Everybody will sell it out. We got a bunch of like high net worth investors and friends and all this stuff. We'll do it. And then it was just
I hired an art school dude who's learning animation to create this little devil dude sitting on a chair. It's fucking cool. Like,
God, I had no idea you were so passionate about this.
No, because I remember looking at it and just being like scratching my head and being like, who the fuck? Like, yo, look at the people on your board or the people on your website that are supposedly advising on this project. Allegedly, I don't think all those people, like, because there was a lot of smart, established people. If they were really advising on that project, like, man, y'all fucking really sucked at that. Like,
there's a lot of there was a lot of high net worth guys in that group that founded Wagmi United, and I think they just got caught up in their own Kool-Aid, man. Like they were drinking their Kool-Aid thinking like we're gonna be awesome and all that stuff. So I like Hunter, by the way. Like Hunter came on the network to actually talk about Wagmi United. I like the guy. I haven't talked with much of the other guys as well, but they clearly it felt like that 0.35 is just very obvious. Like you're like very obvious that you're want to attract a certain user. You know what I mean? Certain investor.
Yeah, and look, I get that. Like, I don't know. I don't even want to go further down it.
Yeah.
I think honestly, the fact that you tried to pass off an edition of 13,000 or whatever crazy high supply it is. 13,000? Let's go look. Yeah, by the way, Cool Cat's floor is 0.17, 0.18, or 1.7, 1.8 right now. Like, yo, that's for a Cool Cat. That's not bad. That's actually really good. Not financial advice.
I'm trying to pull up Wagmi United here, guys. See what
I got
total
it.
Supply is.
Total supply. Here we go.
There's 5. There's
so there's only 10.2. So there's over 10,000 minted, but that's not the full supply.
Yeah.
The full supply, it didn't even mint out. And because it was like close to 13,000.
All right, we're going to move on to the next one too while Gift looks that up. But I want to move on to the next story. So I'll start to get 10KTF pulled up here on the screen. So if you guys have thoughts on this 10KTF or any information regarding the 10KTF drop, definitely drop them in chat. EOS Watchdog's talking about the EOS community firing Block 1, EOS Network Foundation. So Zach Gall from the EOS Network Foundation, this is like taking me way back. We sat right next to each other at the offices in ICO Alert. So Zach Gall is like, I believe now one of the founders of EOS Network Foundation. He is one of the coolest dudes, just one of the funniest dudes that I know. Great individual. I'm glad that he is doing the EOS Network Foundation stuff. He was tied in with Rob Finch for a long time, but has since obviously taken up his own flag in that community. So yeah, shout out to Zach Gall for sure. Marty McFly saying GIF is right. They didn't mint out. Am I agreeing with GIF for the first time?
So they closed the mint.
So because they didn't sell out, basically.
It doesn't even say they removed the total supply and they closed the mint. So now nowhere on the website can I find what the total supply was. But I mean, hey, at least it's lower than if they closed the mint. So it's closer to 10K's total supply. But yeah, they tried to mint out like 13,000 or something. And again, but even then, 10,000, an addition of 10,000.
Yeah, at that price is yeah. I think they just got caught up in the Kool-Aid, man. They got caught up in the Kool-Aid, I'm telling you. I don't think it was nefarious. They just like were doing their own shit.
No, but it's a cash grab, which is kind of nefarious. Like,
yeah,
I could get frustrated about this type of shit all day, because like when you have that kind of resources and those type of people, like do fucking better, man. Like you don't create value for the collector by doing an addition
a 0.35
10,000 at 0.35. Like
you're
period.
Right. 69xxx.fun is in the house saying, find yourself a hot girl here, GIF. Stay away from the chat. Stay away from the chat, GIF.
Yo, I've been looking, bro. Thank goodness you're here. Because,
all right, GIF covered this story earlier. We're not going to go down the girlfriend rabbit hole here as GIF looks all around California for a nice young lady. Yuga Labs welcomes 10KTF and We Need to the family. The other piece I want to touch on here is the CryptoPunks legacy project as well, which you covered earlier. So I'd love to get your thoughts there on CryptoPunks.
We didn't talk about that.
Didn't you have it up?
No.
You didn't have it on the headline? All right. So first of all, 10KTF, we hit this yesterday, but I feel like we didn't really touch on it enough. Obviously, We Knew is the they call it the NFT powerhouse that partners or that builds 10KTF. Along with this stuff, this news piece here, We Knew CEO is now the chief content officer at, I'm assuming, Yuga. I don't know if that's Otherside or Yuga, but I think it's Yuga Labs, and Beeple as an advisor here at Yuga. So, adding to the team, I think it also in the article, it said that it takes the Yuga team over 100 people. So they're adding to their staff, not making mass layoffs, which is nice to see. 10KTF is going to be really dope.
Not yet, but now because you didn't pay your royalties today, Q, they might have to lay off some people.
Royalties on my marked asset, my stolen board.
Wasn't that your whole argument about OpenSea?
What's that?
They need their fee, bro.
Oh, here we go, GIF.
How do you think they pay people? No, how do you think they build their business? How do you think the other side is coming together? You think it's all free?
I actually purchased a Bored Ape from these guys, so hopefully I actually purchased a lot of stuff from the other side. I bought their merch. I minted land based on holding apes. So
wait, so how much of that money went to them exactly when you minted the free land airdrop?
That we minted the airdrop, but I also bought and paid royalties on land. I have bought a kennel club on OpenSea and paid royalties there. I bought all the fucking merch from them. Right. I've spent enough money on them for sure.
But that's the point. That's literally how they're hiring these people, and that was your argument about OpenSea.
Okay, but you were against that on OpenSea, weren't you?
Okay, so I think OpenSea has the highest fee and isn't even looking at that as part of like the negotiation around how they handle artists, and they treat their fee different than the artist royalties. That's primarily what I disagree with. I actually don't care. I will pay 2.5% if artists are also protected. That's what I don't like. I don't like them saying like, oh, well, ours is on chain and it's different, so like we can't do anything about that. Like, it's just expect that our marketplace fee on everything, including all the fraudulent transactions. By the way, like 80% of all free mints were fraudulent, plagiarized, stolen fucking transactions, and they're making a fee off of every single one of those transactions. But you can't question that. You cannot question that because that's on chain. Or
you're putting a lot of words in my mouth. You're dragging me into this, which I don't appreciate. First of all, second,
what I'm saying is that I want the artist's fees to be respected the same, at least the same as the fucking marketplaces that are profiting off of them.
Okay, so there's a couple different things I could say to that. One, OpenSea actually makes its money from that fee. I don't think they have any like primary sales that they do besides offering the service of actually buying and selling on their platform. So that's literally their only business model. Bored Ape has a lot of primary sales, and I've taken part in a lot of those sales. So if it's increased merch, if there's other products that they're going to launch, these are all primary sales.
Who's making more money? Who like on a monthly basis? Who's making more money? Because like to me, you're making an argument like, well, one has more money than the other, or one's getting more than the other. So like
the main thing that I bring up in this conversation too, which is like you dragged me into deep water. When we bring up this conversation, I'm always trying to pay royalties to Bored Ape or Yuga Labs. But I would like to pay just a cap on that. I wouldn't like to pay $15,000, $20,000. It makes no sense. It makes like say that out loud, like you're $20,000 to somebody. Like it makes no sense. So all I'm advocating for, I would like to tip Gordon and Garga and Yuga. They've done a ton of stuff.
Did you tip them? Can't X2Y2?
No, I didn't look into X2Y2, so I didn't really like use all the features. From the time that we've started to have these conversations, I've said put a cap on royalties above a certain amount of money. If I'm paying more than 5 G's for a fee, there is, and that's even crazy to say out loud.
I can get down with there being some kind of potential graded fee or some kind of cap for projects over a certain size, maybe. But even that, I'm skeptical of. But I do understand the point of like, look, when you're talking about an additional fee of like 15, 20K, that is a lot. That's a lot of money, especially in a fucking bear market. So again, dude, like I'm not mad at you for doing what you got to do, And same with Ronan. He's like, dude, I needed a fucking win. I couldn't, hawk out that extra 10, 20K or whatever. Like, dude, like if you're in that situation and you just need that win, like I'm not going to fucking come down on people for trying to survive, but I still think we need to figure out how we're making sure that artists and businesses can thrive in the space. Right? Yeah. Because again, the unintended effect of cutting out royalties is you're cutting out one of the main incentives for all of the innovation and all the businesses in the entire space. Because you can argue like, oh, well, royalties aren't like that big of a percentage of your revenue. No, but you depend on those.
Bored Ape, yeah.
For Bored Apes now it is. Like that's almost their entire business. So it's like you need those as an artist, as a small business, even as a big business, as part of your revenue stream to build in the space.
I 100% agree. I just think that we're at such an early stage with this stuff.
Scissor that.
Dude, we're at such an early stage where these assets are being sold on the same platform. At the end of the day, like I will gladly pay the royalties on anybody that I'm collecting and all that jazz. I will pay all of those fees. I will even go to primary and pay directly to that artist to support it. I did it for like Jessica's drop this week. I proudly collected that. I will pay royalties for the creators. My point is that there should be not a cap on that like max you should pay as a fee to a creator. 2, that maybe we should be looking at these two things even though they're sold on the same marketplace differently. That's it. Like I don't think there's a standard that exists because we're so early, but I don't think Yuga should be looked at in the same as Jessica. I just don't view those two the same. Like it's like viewing an artist and Nike. Like I don't view those two people on the same level. It's just my personal opinion. But getting lost up here because we're so early is that when you say something like that, you're drawing a hard line and saying, well, since you don't look at them the same and we all look at them the same, then you're saying you're not paying royalties to creators. That's where I feel like I'm getting boxed in here. Is like all I'm asking for is a differentiation between those two, because there's not. I'm getting boxed into like I'm not supporting the creator.
Because you're not supporting the creators.
So true. So listen, clip that shit up. I don't support creators. I don't. I've had a podcast long running for 250 other people have been on my network shilling their projects out to the world, been able to clip those up, put those into different content mediums, been doing this for the last 2 to 3 years, but I, Nifty Q, do not support the creators. Jacob, hit it.
Scissor it, clip it. Yo, let's pack it up. It sounds like that's the end of NFT Live. That's the end of Web3. It's the end of the era. Nifty Q, he sold his ape on X2Y2
and it was flagged. Don't forget that.
Yeah,
stolen.
It's flagged. I think this is probably the end. I think we finally found the bottom here, and there's no coming back from this.
Before we sign off for good here for the rest of time, CryptoPunks getting some love. They obviously were acquired. Larva Labs was acquired a long time ago, but Punks are getting some love here. They're being put into the Contemporary Art Miami or Institute of Contemporary Art Miami and introduce Yuga Labs Punks Legacy Project. Do we have any thoughts on this piece, GIF?
So the story is they're going into a gallery in Miami. What's the story here? So
it looks like Yuga Labs donated Punk 305 to the Institute of Contemporary Art Miami and talks about Punk's legacy project. So it's going to be displayed alongside other artworks in the Institute of Contemporary Art Miami.
I think it's fucking great. I think it's cool because you know what? It deserves you know what? This is the digital renaissance. So NFT projects, generative art, and a lot of the innovative projects and innovative people in this space should start to get some respect within the art world. And I think that all of that helps build more bridges and normalizes a lot of what we already believe in, that this stuff does matter, that it has value, that it is art, that there's, it's not just dumb JPEGs. It's like, no, there's a lot to this stuff. And whether or not people want to see it, creating and launching a successful PFP project that's actually interesting or does any sort of cool stuff or uses the technology, it's fucking hard. Yeah. Like I don't think people understand how hard this shit is unless you've tried to do it. Like this shit is literally where art and technology come together to pioneer a whole new field, a whole new industry. This shit deserves some fucking respect and we'll get that respect. But I think this is creating those types of inroads and those opportunities for people to start to understand and see NFTs in a new light, see pixel art in a new light. What is this fucking JPEG? I've seen these things. What's it doing in a fucking museum? Oh, that's why it's everywhere. Mm-hmm. That's why it matters. Oh, it's a CryptoPunk. And it's one of the first of this new thing called an
it's a small event. That happens on a person by person basis over the years. And people don't talk about it because it's not this massive, event. I don't know what that would look like. What's a massive acute event that would lead to mass adoption very quickly? Maybe a Reddit pulling
people selling for $69 million.
Yep. And then this stuff like this, and I want to add on to this, and I see your guys' comments, but the Punks Legacy Project is dope. So there's going to be multiple donations to multiple different arts institutes around the world. That's what the Punks Legacy Project is doing. So not only are they doing this for the Miami Institute of Art, they're doing this for multiple ones around the world. So literally we had Kane Mayfield on here just shitting all over Yuga Labs yesterday. And today they make the announcement.
And now we got Marty McFly taking his place. So, as long as we've got somebody fudding Yuga.
There's someone always fudding Yuga, for sure.
Yeah.
Easy and Crypto saying, dumbest thing I ever did was not spend all my ETH on a punk years ago. Punks are art history. Marty McFly saying, I'm dumping everything but my punk and moving Cardano NFTs. So a lot of great comments coming through. The royalty discussion, of course, is going to drum up some comments. There were a lot of comments there. We appreciate those that came through. It's probably the most divisive shit you could talk about in the space right now, other than if you were like some like crazy SBF defender here in the space. Like everybody has something to say, you know, everybody has something to say, and we see your comments as well, guys, so appreciate it.
Frankly, I don't think SBF is getting enough respect or love.
Right.
I am glad that New York Times finally came out with some actual journalism, some quality investigative journalism to find out what really happened behind this FTX debacle, where the big bad meanies over at Binance were absolutely just like being unfair, just treating them poorly, and probably doing all kinds of malpractice to cause all of this negativity and this spiral that completely had nothing to do with the way that the company was being run. And Sam Bankman-Fried is a saint. He's a saint. Okay, he was giving away all of his wealth to good causes. So he promised.
Just an effective altruist, I think, is the word we were looking for there.
So you're telling me that FTX was just a big fuckfest? Caroline and SBF having sex on those goddamn beanbags?
That shit gets me every time. All right, folks. The last thing I'll say, 10K TF, I think will be big for the Otherside metaverse. That was like hinted at for a long time. So even when we went into the Otherside for the first time, which was now, I'm checking my notes here, like 5 months ago, and it's getting harder to defend the Otherside every other second. I would like another trip to come out, guys. But even in the Otherside, apparently, like Wagmi-San glasses, like placed in one of the little huts there that were in that metaverse experience. So this has been hinted at. So it's a big piece of news, but it also isn't, because everybody kind of knew already. But it's good to see him finalize that. People being part of the Otherside, and the content creator or content executive officer, however they worded that, being a part of the Otherside now is actually legit. I think 10KTF has done that supremely with their storytelling in that project. I've never gotten in because it's almost too complex. Like, I get, like, if there's a project that I just can't see myself spending a lot of time in that's like that complex, I just don't do it. So I just never have gotten involved in 10KTF, but from afar, they've done a great job with their storytelling and Wagmi-San and all the above. So seeing them be a part of the Otherside, I think, is dope. Really stepped on a ledge with that one too, guys. Adding 10KTF to Otherside, good. It's a good thing. Positive.
Yeah. Solid analysis, Q. You know what? And again, y'all, give a thumbs up if you think the highest quality analysis in the entire Web3 space right here. Give him a thumbs up. Y'all, let him know how much we love and appreciate everything that he does.
It's the last time to see me.
And specifically how great he looks in that damn hat. Because holy heck, looking good, Q. Sounding good, sounding smart, looking smart.
I appreciate you. I'm trying to get my dog on screen. This is the last time you'll see me, so I wanted to come out here with my dog. Here. Hey, come here.
Where my dog's at?
Okay, fuck it.
Sorry, Jacob. We did it again.
All right, I'm gonna cycle through these tickers. Leave a like to find SBF. Leave a like to donate to the Speakeasy Craft Services Fund. Leave a like to support GiftEd's Reddit Avatar Fund, and leave a like to donate to NiftyQ's BlockFi Fund. All of those things will happen if you press the like button. The cuppeth will fill if you do so,
and floweth somewhere. But also, thanks for joining us again on the Get Wrecked or Die Trying podcast. We appreciate all of y'all, our vibe, our tribe. We will be back tomorrow with some more GM Web3 and some more NFT live. It's always a blessing getting to chill with y'all. The chat was lit. Big love to all y'all.
Ronan the Collector tomorrow. Also, Biggie Poppins was at Marfa. He's going to be on the episode tomorrow. So he's going to give us the update there as well. Thank you guys for chilling with us. Our vibe, our tribe. Peace out.
So you're telling me that FTX was just a big fuckfest? Caroline and SBF having sex on those goddamn beanbags? Pitch picture that in your mind. That is disgusting! Imagine SBF in a fucking orgy, fucking those other nerds left and right, all day and all night while playing League of Legends while they're fucking. God damn! All day they're just on their computer, taking amphetamines, losing money, and fucking each other in the Bahamas. Oh my God, that's disgusting!